We've seen quite a bit of volatility in the aftermath of the Brexit, and especially in the first 24 hours after the referendum. What appears now is that this nervousness or uncertainty is fading a bit, so it's actually not as bad as one could have feared. The primary adjustment was taken by the pound, which was down 8% and stays roughly in that area. UK stocks actually, to begin with, they declined, and some of them quite a bit, but on an entire index level, it was not as bad, and that's because the pound sterling was dropping quite a bit. So, in euro terms, obviously, British stocks have been dropping quite a bit. But and other stocks as well across Europe have been hurt by this. But it's actually not as bad as one could have feared. On the contrary, you could be surprised by the demand that is still there for corporate bonds in both the investment grade and high yield segments. So it's actually not as bad as one could have feared. Well, one might claim that the market is always having a negative focus somewhere. And that negative focus has primarily been in emerging markets for the past 1 or 2 years. That's the asset class that has been hated the most by investors. And we've seen a lot of outflows from emerging market assets, both stocks and bonds. That negative focus is now shifting towards Europe, again because of the political uncertainty regarding the Brexit referendum. And the future of the cooperation between the UK and the European Union, and that's not something that the markets like, and that's also why the euro has been dropping after this Brexit referendum. So now that the negative focus is shifting towards the EU and the problems there and the political uncertainty. Actually, emerging market assets are performing quite well, and emerging market shares have been outperforming developed market shares by around or slightly more than 5% in 2016 so far. So at last, you might say emerging market shares are actually performing quite good. This is also the case for emerging market bonds that are doing surprisingly well if you take into account this political uncertainty in the EU. We've seen a very long development of lower and lower interest rates for many years actually, and now this development is getting to the extremes, and especially so in Japan, where the 40-year Japanese government bond is now yielding only 11 basis points, and that bond is actually having a volatility that is comparable to the MSCI World almost. It's about 70 or 80% of the volatility in equity markets. So you are basically getting an equity risk, but being paid 11 basis points per year for a 40-year period. That doesn't sound right to me. The situation is not as bad, but it's still quite bad in Germany, where there was a big deal a couple of days ago where 10-year rates were dropping into negative territory, but now also 15-year rates in Germany are negative. In Denmark, it's not as bad. 5 and 8-year Danish government bonds are yielding a negative return to maturity, but 10 years are still in positive territory. I guess it's only a matter of time before they actually drop to negative as well. But I'm just saying, take care, because the inflation figures have been very, very low for 1 or 2 years due to primarily the very big drops that we've seen in energy and commodity prices. And these effects are actually running out or petering out during the next 3 to 6 months. And after that, you could easily see inflation figures, headline inflation figures, that would be more than 1.5%. So I don't think the bond market is actually positioned to getting these kind of headline inflation figures.